Did I cut my hair? Inside you there are two wolves. One of them wants my pixie cut back and the other one wants Rapunzel hair. Moshi Moshi, I'm the New Year's baby. Happy 2026. This video took forever to film because everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong. So that's been really great. I heard that Thai New Year is in April. So you know what? If anybody asks, we're celebrating Thai New Year. Momi and I would like to wish you a hello back to the channel for 2026. Do we like my natural hair? I'm wearing my natural hair today. I didn't straighten it. I didn't do anything. I just moisturized it really well. And I actually slept with my bonnet on so that it didn't become a mess. What a big sigh. Look at this chunky monkey. He's still on his winter weight. He's not happy that I told you that he's on his winter weight. My chunky monkey. My chunkiest monkeys. This is the fourth time. Hello. The fourth time that I've filmed this video. So, but like I said, I had a ring light break and then I fixed it and then it broke again. My microphone was like having a time. My iPad needed a battery change. The last time I filmed this video, my camera didn't pick up 2 hours worth of audio, so I just had a beginning and then all of the important stuff was like lost to time. So I have written everything down that I wanted to talk about so that we could actually like remake this goddamn video. Okay, so one of the reasons that I've had so much trouble creating content is because the internet is a fucking cesspool. And like, we knew. I'm in a very privileged position that when I was a kid, the internet was just starting out and we really didn't have much. And then I got to see it like really come into the age of social networking. And we've talked about it before. I interned for a company, like a small company that was being like run, it was like, I don't know what the wording is, under Twitter essentially. And so I got to like go to a lot of like corpo tech events that had to do with basically like the future of Twitter. And the more I think of it, like it really was the beginning of corporations speculating about like what AI was going to look like, and it was like the first forays into creating character AIs. By the time I was in my 20s, it was kind of like the writing was on the wall that the internet wasn't just a place that you could visit anymore and then go about your life. It was life. It wasn't just like, hee hee, maybe there's like bronies on the internet. It was like, no, there's Nazis on the internet. And they're very like vocal about the fact that they're Nazis. So I got to see a lot of that. So we're at a really interesting point now. As somebody that's now been doing content creation full time for 3 years, I don't feel comfortable like when it comes to business, but also when it comes to my life. And like the second channel is really more about like me dicking around. Like this is me, this is my like I get to do whatever I want channel. And I don't really have to like worry about like being Spazzatic Studio, you know? But I realized that like there were business changes that I want to make in this like very shitty time where like AI is everywhere, the internet is evil, the internet is a big tool for like consumption and advertising. And as somebody who tries my very best to like have a lot of scruples in my life in regards to like what I consume and how I consume and from where, I was like, I think that it's time to make more sustainable business changes for the longevity of this career that is now my life. I'm gonna make a video like this on the Spazzatic Studio channel that's gonna be more focused on just like really talking about like studio things. And this one is gonna be a bit more like, I'm gonna tell you how in my regular life I've committed to like better sustainability. And like, I'm very excited because I'm doing a no buy year for me has always been like really scary. And I've like never understood like, oh my God, how do people get away with a no buy year? This is my year to do a no buy year, and we're gonna do it together. When it comes to like affording my lifestyle, a lot of people ask me like, well, how do you stay afloat if you don't have another job? And the answer is that like, I've had other jobs. I like to take like, you know, 6 months. We did the mortuary apprenticeship. I worked for a furniture company like for 6 months. I'll do like a couple months here, a couple months there. Last summer I worked in an old folks home. This winter I did like meal prepping for people. Like, I try to make money doing whatever I can, wherever I can. Because like, I don't want a 9-to-5 ever again. I just want to do this forever. Doing this forever means living very frugally, because it's not like I'm making a ton of money. I'll be lucky in a year, if that, to make maybe between 20 and 30,000. And the reason that I'm able to continue this as a career is because I have the support of my giant husband, Husband Studios, and my parents who let me very mercifully like live in their condo. So I have to, like, when it comes to things like charity, y'all know I love throwing my money at charity, okay? You know this. We know this about me. And so I had to make the decision this year to be like, okay, are we gonna continue to do like sort of charity related things when the budget allows, or are we gonna put the money in one place while maintaining, of course, the 14 grand, I've done the math, the 14 grand that it takes me to get through like the year. I'm talking groceries, I'm talking medication, I'm talking just like staple items that you need for your house, right? You're gonna have to buy dish soap and a dish sponge at some point, at a few points this year. So I know that I've recycled the same 14 grand of savings for the last, I think, 3 years now to keep myself afloat. And it's a very modest living. It's a very like not eating out, not really going out, not getting takeout, you know, no subscriptions now to anything. Like it's a lot of that. It's a very like modest means. But I'm happy, and I hope that the no buy year will like propel us into an even more frugal state. But when it comes to the extra money, what do we spend the extra money on? Instead of doing random charity drives, I have decided it's time for Spazz's ABC fund. My main dream really with Spazzatic Studio, I would like to get to the point of making enough income where I can do, I call it the ABC fund, it stands for Always Be Creating. I would really like to basically do like workshops for kids in like poorer areas, inner city schools, like kids who are at a disadvantage who want to pursue the arts, to go into schools in lower income neighborhoods and like, you know, be able to self-fund like workshops for whatever, sculpting, music composition, drawing, weeb shit. Like, I've talked about this before too. I grew up in a very notoriously poor ghetto neighborhood. My next door neighbor was a crack house. I hung out with crackheads. I hung out in trap houses. I grew up with 3 people in my immediate family my entire life in active addiction to various substances at different times in their lives. Like, and my mom was below the poverty line. We really went through it. We lived in an area that was like very famous for being sort of where fresh off the boat immigrants went to live, which is why we lived there. And it was also known for being like premium get shot in the ass territory. It was very rough. And what made it like not so miserable was that my parents sent me to actually an inner city, middle of downtown art school. I went to art school my entire life. I've talked about it before. I made a whole video. I'll put it here somewhere. But I went my entire life and it made life like bearable. And I want to be able to provide that for other kids. So Spazz's ABC fund, I'm not making enough income to where that is possible, but there is another looming threat right now, which is the blockade with Cuba. And friends of the channel will know, my dad is Cuban and I love him very much, and you've probably seen my ide. Ethnically, we are from a very small ethnic group of Santeros and Palomayombe. We are the last surviving Palomayombe. There used to be 5 ethnicities under Ifa, and the other 4 ethnicities went extinct during chattel slavery. My family lives in a, actually very well known for like Palo, voodoo, what a barrio, hello, neighborhood, oh my god, neighborhood. It's Guanabacoa. It's near Havana. There's there's very many slums in Cuba that are predominantly black Cubans. Afro-Cubans have gotten historically the shit end of the stick all the time. We're all very critical of the Castros, and it's based on the continued racism that Afro-Cubans have lived through. And we face a very real extinction right now in Guanabacoa. Even, like, times have always been tough in Cuba, okay? Communism has done us no favors. Like, the Castro family has done us no favors. Times have always been very tough. But it's getting to a point now where, like, since, I would say the year before COVID, which is when we had our first, like, noticeable series of crop blights. And it was like, oh my god, in the city centers of, like, Havana and Veradero, it became impossible to find, like, bread and at one point rice and grains, and that was kind of like the eerie foreshadowing of what was to come. The slums around like Havana, even in like Havana Vieja, there are areas that have never had indoor plumbing, that have never had flooring, that have never had electricity or potable water. There's entire communities where my parents' house is, which is in Giron, which is the Bay of Pigs. There used to be a huge government hotel there, and the only reason that Giron was populated was because that's where the employees lived. And now that government hotel is closed, it's abandoned, and people don't have potable water or food. The cities have become dangerous. People are moving to places like Giron with their babies and their elderly people, because it's, you know, people are going at it in the streets. And like, it's been like that for a while. I think that the Western media now is like beginning to catch up, but this is the looming threat right now, like at the forefront of my mind. We bought a $2,000 generator last month to send. We send hundreds of dollars of food. We send recargas all the time, which is basically like a remote phone and internet access that you can purchase in Canada and assign to a Cuban phone number. When it comes to like the slums, my dad, I think, goes the most, well, I mean, of course he would go the most out of all of us. He's literally the Cuban among us, but he goes to Cuba a lot. And usually what I do is I message everybody and ask them for a list of like everything that like they need or their neighbor needs, or if there's like someone has a baby in the community, if the community is small enough, like you'll know, you know. It's not really like the neighborhoods here that they'll go on forever and like you don't even know if your neighbor had a baby. Like everybody knows everybody's business, right? And then I'll purchase like whatever is needed, and I will like pack sometimes 2 or 3 suitcases full of just stuff for other people and like send it. So the money, I want 50% of my income, instead of worrying right now about the true like Spazz's ABC fund, I'm putting it into a mutual aid sort of bulk fund to buy the things that Cubans are asking for. And I have a list. It's an Amazon wish list. I'll link it down below. You can check it out. It's full of items that Cubans have asked for. And usually we spend a lot of time worrying about like the essentials, you know, and we'll get donations here in Montreal from hospitals. Last year we sent over like IVs, like the packaged IVs, butterfly IVs, like tubing for different like medical apparatuses, the clamps for like drains like mine that are like well, I don't have it anymore, but that are like implanted like into you. We sent a lot of that stuff. So we usually focus on things that people need to live, but there's a lot of other items that are just like things for people's dignity. A big one that a lot of Cubans ask for, especially from these neighborhoods that are majority Black, are wigs. Wigs for women with natural hair who want to do a protective style, and they need gel, or they need combs, or they need like products for Black hair, wigs, pillowcases, beach towels. Like, it's things that okay, you're not gonna die without a wig. Do you know what I mean? But it's like the dignity of people, I think, is just as important as like making sure that they don't die. Right? Right. If you want to donate to like just donate items, I urge you to check out the Amazon wish list. My dad is going back to Cuba this month, so we've already started buying a bunch of stuff, but like any donation is obviously very much appreciated. So 50% of my income this year is going to be going towards that. And this includes clicks from my website, any kind of like ads and traffic, like website traffic money that I make, and Patreon. Patreon's gonna be the big one, okay? I've dissolved the Patreon tiers. Everything is gonna be free because, like I've been saying, I've been pondering how to make the internet less of a garbage place. And I think that mutual aid is one point, but building a community is another point. My plans for this channel, I have this winter over the holidays, I did a lot of experimenting on crafts that are like literally the components are garbage, like trash, okay? I'm gonna show you how to do a lot of shit virtually for free. And I'm gonna do it because in these most precedented of fascist times, having a community, building a community is like the #1 most resistance like to fascism thing that you could possibly do. I've been talking to a lot of great people that are doing a lot of great work and activism and mutual aid for their communities, and I think that the online community often is overlooked. It's important to have online networks. So mutual aid, money, there's a $5 tier on Patreon that basically gets the stuff that I'm giving you for free a month in advance, and that money is going to the mutual aid fund as well. I redid my website, okay? Speaking of community, there is a tab. First of all, I urge you to check it out because I worked real hard on it, okay? I worked on it for 3 months. But there's a tab that's downloadables, and you'll notice that there's a paper template tab. Oh my God, what does that mean? And there's a video actually up on Patreon. It's gonna be up on Patreon for free on the 1st of May, where I show you how to digitize your paper patterns. So if you're an avid sewer or felt artist or fiber artist of any kind, or you just wanna like digitize stuff, for the sake of digitizing it, there's a really easy and free way to do it via, of course it's gonna be Canva, girl. So I urge you to check that out. But yeah, I'm very excited to do crafts here and to give you a wealth of free materials, and we're gonna be crafting with trash, and I think that we're gonna build a nice little community that's gonna foster better online norms and behaviors. Okay. If you're more interested in following me along on my no buy year, we're gonna talk about that right now. Okay. So, critically examining my life. My life and my spending habits and my needs are very deeply intertwined with the needs of my family, obviously, because I live with my family. Me and Mr. Studios have been house hunting, and so our needs are becoming sort of more and more intertwined. In preparation for moving, we've been doing a lot of like inventorying of all of our crap. I noticed that we were spending a lot of money on subscriptions. And again, okay, I'm gonna harken like back to my childhood for a second. Like we used to get by just fine, okay? We didn't have like Spotify and YouTube Premium and Amazon Prime and all of this bullshit, and everything was fine. So who the fuck convinced us that we need to pay a premium to use the goddamn internet? Get out of my face with that shit. I canceled all of our subscriptions. No more Spotify because of the whole like AI military drone bullshit. Fuck you. No more Spotify. I was using YouTube Music and paying for YouTube Premium, and I was like, that's another like $15 to $20 we could be saving a month. Amazon Prime, same thing. Those little expenses, think like Uber Eats, Dash Pass, all of these things. Even though it's like, oh, it's only $9, it's only $12, it adds up. It adds up into a lot of dollars. Uber Eats and DashPass was less of a vice for me and more of a vice for Mr. Studios. I'm in the process of teaching him how to meal prep things that he likes because he's a gardening enthusiast. Wink, wink. He gets real snacky in the nighttime, and that was an impediment. So we've been doing a lot of prepping of like healthier alternatives to getting something, let's say like McDonald's. Lil burritos, Hot Pockets, tater tots, broccoli tater tots, a lot of that. It's been going really well. So our subscription count right now at the moment is a big ol' goose egg, $0 per month. And if you tally, I'll put the tally somewhere on the screen because I forgot to write down the tally, but we'll have a monthly savings tally here on the side, I promise. Now, I bet you're wondering, what do you do in terms of digital media, right? The first thing is, I've been thrifting. I've been going to pawn shops. I've been going to estate sales. I've been hunting Facebook Marketplace. I'm the Facebook Marketplace warrior. Pawn shops, though, for $5, you can get like all the Harry Potter movies. That's not like a clickbaity exaggeration, dude. I'm telling you that is what I have done. So that's a lot of physical media taken care of, a lot of secondhand video games. I am really an old head gamer. I had my original Xbox from when it first released, the motherboard replaced this year for $105. It's like a brand new Xbox. I have a 360, I have a Wii, I have my Nintendo DS. I'm good to go. I have a secondhand Switch that I paid $300 for a couple of years ago. I'm good, like really and truly. When it comes to music, I did consider buying that little like iPod looking thing, and I did consider repairing my original iPod Nano from the 4th grade, but Mr. Studios made a really great point in that he is a big LG user and he has a shit ton of old phones. So I rigged up an old phone to use as an iPod, and he also recently found a little MP3 looking thing that we're gonna try as well. I've been so busy with like studio stuff and making the website and reconfiguring the Patreon, I haven't gotten to it yet, but I think I'm gonna turn it into a video. We'll film it, we'll have a lot of fun. And speaking of like, not just vetting subscriptions, app deletion. Like, there are so many things that require so many apps that you just don't need. There's so much bloatware on your phone and in your life. There's so much shit that we like do not have to deal with. And like taking a really critical look at all of the subscription services and services in general in your life and being like, what doesn't serve me, is a game changer, and it will save you money. Okay, so saving money per month. You're probably wondering, where does the no-buy year fit into that? The no-buy criterion for this year is as follows. My existing scruples already exist. I will not buy anything that's tested on animals. It has to be cruelty-free. New stipulation post-cancer, it has to be EWG certified. You just go on the EWG website. It's gotta be non-fragranced, clean beauty. Okay? Okay. New stipulation that I am having a little bit of trouble with. Sorry, the bird is also in the background. I want makeup that doubles as skincare. If you grew up Desi, you probably are really familiar with this concept because there's a lot of products like Kajal, for example, that are like medicated, like ghee. They're herbal products, a lot of shit with neem in it. You could buy like neem foundation, it's crazy. A lot of like Ayurveda incorporates these elements of like beauty with skincare, and that's really what I've been like working towards. So, other criterion for the no-buy year, digital media, rentals, or like YouTube gives you the option to like buy movies and stuff. Like I just said, no need. Pawn shops, whatever. No more clothes and no more decor until I move to my house. I have enough decor in my bedroom. We know I'm a maximalist. We know that I'm clutter maxing. I think I have enough to literally furnish an entire house. I don't need to be buying more clothes. I don't need to be buying more purses, shoes, bags, none of that shit. No way in hell. And similarly on the no buy list, no more perfume. I am working through the perfume collection. They're Lush perfumes that I have. And then I will critically assess if I even want perfume in my life anymore. So no perfumes, no cosmetics, no makeup for the rest of the year, no nothing. I want to finish everything I have before I move in the fall, and then reassess what I want to rebuy, keeping in mind the EWG cruelty-free and makeup as skincare stipulations that I have. And of course, the big one, and we'll get there in a second, art supplies. No more new art supplies. Per category, I have to finish everything I have before I embark in more art supplies. When it comes to things like clothes, shoes, bags, jewelry, accessories, things like that, I'm really trying to make a conscious effort to use everything I have, because there are things that have been unworn for years and years and years, and I'm like, what am I doing buying more? So the vibe is, even though like in the last, I would say 6 or 7 years, all of my jewelry has been thrifted, unless it's like an heirloom of some kind, hand-me-down. But I don't get the opportunity to wear all of it, and I want to be able to wear all of it so that I can assess at the end of the year who I am as a person, what my needs are aesthetically, and if it's even worth toying with the idea of possibly like buying anything else or replacing anything else. We will assess, and we will assess at the end of the year what the situation is so that we can decide what to replace. And specifically, I think I'm going to do this on Patreon. It'll be just like a fun little bonus so that I don't clog up the YouTube feed with it. At the end of every month, we're going to go through the empties. I'm going to make a video after this on that. We're going to go through my empties, and I'm going to tell you if I've bought anything new to replace something that's empty, if I would rebuy the product, or if I'm never going to like rebuy the product at all. And we can talk about that, and that'll be a really fun little monthly sort of progress update on the no buy years. Now, I'm sure you're wondering what I've been using for makeup recently. The answer to this is twofold. The first fold is that I went through all of the makeup that I had and I narrowed it down. Again, I went on the EWG website and I made sure everything was certified, and I ended up with a very small list of clean beauty products that I have been using religiously, so that once they are finished, I can just get rid of everything. I'm very proud to announce that I am down to my last palette. This is all the eyeshadow I have left in the world, and I'm so excited for the end of the year when I can sort of assess if I want like new eyeshadows and which kinds of eyeshadows I like the best so we could buy it. When it comes to skincare, also, I have been getting rid of everything possible. I've been remaking a lot of stuff. Hair care, scalp grease, body butters, mouthwash. It's been saving us a lot of money. I've also been buying things. I've totally quit Amazon. I've totally quit like big bulk stores, commercial stores. I'm trying to do like small sustainable mom and pops, and I'll be honest with you, okay, small businesses, a lot of them are predatory. Unfortunately, the price jacking for a lot of them is quite egregious. But I have found some online Canadian retailers for natural products. I'll leave them in the description, especially when it comes to like, you know, I'll buy a 4 liter of Castile soap once every 6 months, and we'll use the whole 4 liters to completion. So for those sorts of things, it's been really great because I've been able to very reasonably buy in bulk. Now, the other side of this coin is going to sound insane, but walk with me. I realized the more that I thought about it, the more that I noticed the double standard of male and female content creators. And I was like, there's so much stress on you to, like, the stress begins before I even sit down to film a video. Because it's like hair, makeup, lighting, this, that, the other thing, the aesthetics. Whereas a lot of men just come on here and they're just kind of here. And it's like, how come we don't talk about that as much as we should? All of this stress, this preemptive stress, was getting in the way of me doing my goddamn job. When I could just, like, not do that. Have you ever asked yourself, like, I've been, like, a hairy bra-burning feminist for a really long time. I ditched bras at some point last year, and I have had visible body hair for years and years and years. I rocked a unibrow as a teenager on purpose for many years. And I was like, why are we capitulating to PDF beauty standards? And why am I coming on the internet trying to make a YouTube video as a Stepford wife when my whole brand is being authentically yourself? And so it seems a little like roundabout, but I decided I don't really want to be super into cosmetics anymore. I don't want to worry about doing my hair and doing my makeup and doing an outfit. I just want to be. The changes to my life have been tremendous. Really, they have. And it's not just ditching beauty standards and ditching a lot of cosmetics. It's also spending less. A lot of our burnout comes from the stress of shopping. Shopping for things, even though the dopamine hit is the dopamine hit, there's a lot of worry. Where am I going to put these things? Am I going to get my bang for my buck? I think all the time, if something, let's say in a perfect world, every time you bought something, instead of paying with money, you just had to use it enough times, you know, where every use is like X amount of dollars for you to break even. Do you use all of your things and items and shit you own to the degree that you would be able to break even on a price per use basis? Really think about that. Burnout, like, it's not just like workload or mental load, it's stuff. The big glaring one that I said we would come back to, okay? Like this, the weight of expectation and the weight of owning stuff and having to like be a slave to these things that you want and convince yourself that you need, that are arbitrarily like making you sicker and more miserable and more stressed. The art supplies. As artists, it's very easy to over purchase things because we want to be embroiled in multiple crafts at once. And we want to, like, you know, level up our craft. In 2024 especially, I made a lot of videos where I talked about the immense pressure of like being perceived as a public figure, of being a content creator on the internet. 2024 was very much my year to contend with what that meant, to become an art, like be embroiled in the feat of becoming an artist, because it's never static, right? Art is all about like reinvention and creation and evolution, and there's ups and downs, there's points of stagnation, there's changes all the fucking time, there's reinvention of yourself all the goddamn time. And it's very stressful and scary when there's like 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 25,000 people watching your every move to do it. It's hard to break away from that element of burnout. I inventoried this year all of my art stuff, and I got it into like 2 to 3 little bins. And I realized that some of that art supplies I have had since I was 15 years old. I love to scrapbook. I got into one of the little crafts I experimented with was like bookbinding with old fabric, but there's a lot of junk journal stuff and scrapbooking stuff that is the same stuff over and over and over again, but it looks so good, it's so fun, it's so enticing. You know, you get like stationery hoarders, and it's an easy like pit to fall into. It's contributing to your burnout as an artist. It's contributing to your art block. It's contributing to your fear of being perceived as a public figure should you decide to make a living on the internet as an artist. It is, I promise you. I inventoried all that shit and I was like, we're doing a no-buy year. My goal is to finish the 2 bins of like scrap fabric and papers and lino cut materials and clay and all of the rest of it. And this year, I'm going to talk about it more on the main channel. I'm really focusing on a return to traditional mediums. I'm talking like oil pastels, paints, drawing, like I want to get back into it, and I want to reteach myself like color theory and composition. It's on my list of stuff I think I absolutely need to do. What do we do with all of this? Well, I think my first video when it comes to like crafting with trash and sustainability, I'm going to show you how to make a party box. It's going to be really fun. And I'm going to show you how you can recreate a lot of trendy TikTok crafts with very little, either stuff from the dollar store or stuff that is in your garbage can. And like, let me tell you, dude, I have had so much success literally picking through recycling bins. There is more free shit in this world than you think there is. I'm talking Facebook no-buy groups, marketplace, estate sales. I have a cute little series on TikTok where I do like, these are all the things that I saved from a landfill this week. Most of it's free. People are out there throwing out PS5 controllers. I'm not kidding. We've come to a point in human society where everything is an avenue for consumption, and there's so much of it now that people aren't even properly disposing or bothering to sell what they have. And you can take advantage of that. And I urge you to take advantage of that. When things really feel bleak and, you know, you look at the state of the world and you think like, this world is so polluted with evil, and the internet, I think, is like the gathering and breeding ground of a lot of that evil bullshit. Just remember, every time you don't buy from a megacorp and you fish shit out of the trash to use in your crafts, you are giving the FU to Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and OpenAI and all of that shit, okay? The more we build this community off of crafting together and free resources, the more you will understand that this is the opposite of what the evil PDF billionaire class wants to do. And if nothing else in my life, know that I am a spiteful bitch that wants to stick it to the capitalist ruling class. So, oh my God, that's my no-buy year. These are my 2026 resolutions. I am so excited to share with you everything, just everything. I'm very excited. Please do check out my website, okay? Especially if you're a digital artist, go steal as much shit as you can. My marketing guide is up there. I'm going to be doing more written guides for people that really want to be artfluencers as well, okay? I'm not the only artfluencer. There will be others. I will turn you into one. I will convert you, I promise. I'm so excited to build this community with you. I'm excited for the no-buy year. I'm excited that we're gonna save money. I'm excited that we're gonna save trash from Trash Island, and we're gonna make a bunch of shit, and it's gonna be great, and it's gonna be fun. I super duper promise you. Please join me. Again, my Instagram is @SpazzaticsStudios Creations. My TikTok is Spazzatic Studio. The main channel vid is coming soon. It's Spazzatic Studio. Also, you know, in case you couldn't tell, this has been Spazz After Dark. I know that the tone of this one and the flow was maybe a little bit different than we're used to. But yeah, patreon.com/SpazzaticStudios if you're interested in my monthly empties. I will put it on the free tier, okay? I promise. And yeah, I love you. Stay weird. Continue to give the finger, okay, to Sam Altman and all those other weirdos. It's gonna be great, and I'll see you really soon.